Minecraft survival is so much fun, but it can sometimes be tricky to get yourself set up for success in your world, which can lead to rushing through the game. In this video, I'm going to give you 10 tips to enjoy the early game of your Minecraft survival world. Tip number 1, pick a seed that you are going to enjoy. It helps so much when you intend to have a long-term world if you pick out a seed for yourself that has biomes that you enjoy being in. I like to create random seeds until I find one that I like. It can take some time, but if you aren't up for that, you can always just Google one. Tip number 2, of course, in classic Minecraft survival, we gotta begin by punching a tree. Once we have those first couple pieces of wood, it's important to start with our tools. We're not going to make a full set of wooden tools though, we're just gonna make a pickaxe. We can use this pickaxe to pick up some cobble, and then we'll skip straight to stone tools to help with efficiency when we're gathering. Tip number 3, scout around your spawn for some quick resources. Take note of what animals you have around you, what wood types are there, any generated structures, and try to find a place that you may want to settle for the night that is near spawn. If you can find some coal or iron, now is a great time to pick that up if it's near the surface. Gathering as much wood as you can is also great because we'll need it for so many different things as we move through the world. So, now that you've found the animals, I need you to not kill them. Tip number 4, dragging animals from all over the world with a piece of wheat is not that fun. If there are animals at your spawn, I recommend keeping them alive. We'll plan to breed them. Gather some seeds, find a bit of water, and start growing some wheat. For food in the early game, consider some easy and renewable sources like fish swimming in rivers or oceans, kelp, which you can cook, melons in a jungle, or sweetberry bushes in a taiga. All of these are sources that are easily replenished and can get you through those first few days with no issue. Tip number 5, get a bed as fast as possible. Being able to skip through those first couple nights where you're getting geared up is huge. If you can, get early iron and use it to create some shears. These will come in handy so you don't have to kill 3 sheep. They can be used later on for decorating your home with leaves as well, so it's a win-win. Now, it's time for your starter home project. This is something that I want you to enjoy. Tip number 6 is that having a place to come back to that you're proud of when you're going exploring makes it so much more sweet. Think of all of the things that you can get that are cheap to craft and easy to access. Use them to your advantage to make a unique home. Not everything in this home needs to be 100% functional and efficient. Make things that you enjoy, a little bedroom, a nice carpet, some bushes outside. While you're creating this, I need you to remember to make it out of blocks that are reasonable to get in the early game. This is tip number 7. Although it's a massive flex to build a diamond hut, you may end up burning yourself out way faster than necessary trying to collect all of those hard to get materials. Here are some examples of easy items that can really help a starter home. Granite, andesite, and diorite are all unique and easy to get while you're mining. Campfires, trapdoors, stripped logs, and barrels, along with a smoker, are simple to create and can really help with the details. A campfire is especially great here because if you're running low on fuel, you can create one and cook your food without having to use any excess coal or wood. It's also very aesthetically pleasing. In this world, I've been able to gather so many different things. The spawn has a lot of different biomes, so I've been able to take advantage of several different wood types, as well as different types of stone. Crafting, along with this, makes for a really unique house. I recommend looking into it and taking advantage of all that is in your world. Once your house is complete, it's likely that the wheat you planted earlier has grown up. We can now create a simple animal pen and begin breeding to get food, leather, and anything else we might need from these animals. At this point, creating a larger wheat field to keep your animals fed is a good idea. If there is sugarcane nearby, grab this too and start growing it for paper. Starting this process early on will help us get enchanted without having to worry about the resources too much. Tip number 9, we're doing a lot of building. And that can get kind of boring and monotonous after a long time, especially if you're newer to the building aspect of the game. I don't want this to get boring, especially if you're doing a larger base, so take advantage of all that there is to explore in the game. Go on adventures to get loot. It's so nice to take a break from time to time and explore your world. Some easy early game areas to look out for are on or near shore shipwrecks, desert temples, ruined portals, and villages. Not only are these fun to explore, but they can also have amazing items to help kickstart your world. Tip number 10, so you're going out exploring. You're finding yourself getting lost, huh? Pay attention to your home coordinates and write them down. That can be really helpful. But if you built a starter home right at the area where you spawned, then you can also just craft a compass. This requires redstone and iron, so it means you do need to go mining, but it's worth it if you intend to go on some longer adventures. When exploring, I recommend taking a second bed with you. This way you can skip the nights while you're out adventuring. Treat it kind of like a sleeping bag. If your base is already at spawn and you die, you'll respawn near there anyways regardless of where you slept, so it's definitely a good idea. This is especially true on hardcore mode, by the way, where it really doesn't matter where you respawn. You're gonna want to be sleeping those nights so you don't die. Tip number 11, slowly work towards diamonds. My advice is to try and enjoy the early game rather than rush through it. I personally love the farming aspects of the game and building up a starter area. However, eventually you will get the itch to go mining. My favorite thing to do in this case is to create a nice mining area for myself. Maybe a staircase with a minecart system, or an abandoned cave that I decorate. Whatever it is, make it your own. If caving is something that scares you without armor, consider a strip mine at level 11 or 12. If mining isn't your forte at all, maybe do it in small bursts. 10 minutes at a time, during nights, can pass a bit of time and also get the job done. Tip number 12. Do you find yourself getting unmotivated or uninspired in your worlds? Don't know what to do next? Try creating builds for the things that you need. Building is a huge part of the game and can be really fun even in the early game. Something that I like to do to help my motivation and inspiration in my worlds is create builds that are focused around the functional things that I need, like a fancy tower for my enchantment setup, or a barn for my cows. You'll not only have all of the farms and tools that you need for early game success, but you'll also have an epic base by the end of it. Something that will save you some time is creating a nice early game storage, enough chests so that you can hold on to every single item you get. Once you get more established and know what you want to do in the world, you can make a better and more sorted one. Just having somewhere to dump off all of your stuff after you've been exploring is a big deal. Trust me on this. Tip number 13, decorate your world. Not every single thing you make needs to be insanely efficient and functional. Sometimes you make a custom tree because it makes you happy when you walk by it, and that is reason enough. Don't be afraid to add little details to your world to liven it up. A pathway with custom trees, rocks, bushes, flower gardens, maybe a fishing spot or a small boat in the water. You do you. Tiny extra tip I'm inserting here, don't forget to create a backup of your world. If it's a big long-term world, I would even recommend going as far as to back up to an external hard drive or on cloud storage. Don't lose your builds, there's no reason for that. You gotta back them up. And my final tip, number 14, find joy in the little things. Having a Minecraft world should be fun. Allow yourself to enjoy it and the whole process towards endgame. If you find yourself getting bored, remember that there are many things that can be done in a world. It helps me to break up larger projects with fun, small tasks. Going exploring, coming back to work on your large base, taking a break to learn some redstone, and then going to fight some mobs and earn some loot. At the end of the day, I want you to remember that there is no right or wrong way to play this game. These are just my tips based on how I enjoy the early game. The main thing is that you are having fun. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I appreciate you all, and I hope I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye!